here we go again. Welcome to a serene, peaceful, quiet, tranquil, well, almost. It's almost quiet, besides the sound of people chopping down trees. That is the only thing disturbing the peace here today. Hi everybody, here we go. Yes, it is another English Addict live stream from the birthplace. Yes, we are coming live from the place where it all started. It is where the English language was born. Of course, it is England. I really do wish I had my echo. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Well, I hope you are happy. I hope you are feeling good today. And my camera has just gone off. Well, that's good. That's good. I don't know why my camera has just gone off. Oh, that's interesting. There's some very interesting things happening at the moment on my camera. Let's just see if I can sort that out. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I don't know what's going on here. I think my equipment has just literally gone wrong. How strange. Well, that is very embarrassing, I must say. Let's just see if we can sort that out. Is it working now? Oh, I think we are back on now. Oh dear. I'm not quite sure what happened then. Did you see that? I went all strange. My camera went off and then it came back on. Well, at least I noticed that there was a problem. I don't know what's happening recently. All of my equipment seems to be going wrong. I'm not sure if it's me, or maybe something happening out there. Maybe something spooky is happening out there somewhere. So I hope I'm back. Am I back on? Hello? Am I inside your little square box? I really hope I am. Here we are then. Yes, we are here together once again. It's the end of the week. We have made it almost to the weekend. Yes, it's Friday. I'm glad to see you here. It is the end of the week. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. I don't know why, but today everyone has decided to chop their trees down. I don't know why people in this area hate trees so much, but it would appear that almost every day someone, somewhere around here, is having their trees chopped down. So that is what is happening behind me. If you can hear some sounds that are not me talking, well, that might be because people have decided to fell some trees. Fell. Did you know that the word fell can be used as a verb? It's true. You can fell a tree. So those guys behind me, well, they might be girls, of course. I'm not saying that girls can't use chainsaws. I'm sure, ladies, you are more than capable of holding a chainsaw in your hand and cutting down a tree. I'm not saying you can't. Whew, what a strange age to be living in. But you can fell a tree. So you chop the tree and then you fell the tree. It is actually a verb, as well as something that is talking about a thing that has already fallen. It fell yesterday. So we are using it in the past tense as well. Hello to the live chat. Oh, we have a lot of people on the live chat. First of all, before I go any further, I do have a very special thank you to give out. I do. A very special thank you. Just a moment. Don't go away. I have to say hello to two special ladies. Can I say hello to Nicoletta Frisson and also Veronica Sanchez Patino for your lovely, kind donations on PayPal I received yesterday. Thank you very much for your lovely donations. And there, once again, I will say it once again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Nicoletta Frisson and also Veronica Sanchez Patino for your kind donations to my PayPal. And yet there, of course, underneath the bottom of the screen, you can see the address if you want to make a small donation. Or maybe you've just won the lottery. Maybe you are now a multi-millionaire riding around in your big speedboat, or maybe a very large yacht. So there is the address. Thank you, Nicoletta, and also Veronica. Thank you very much indeed. I do appreciate your very kind donations. And the reason why I ask for donations is because I do all of this for free. So I spend a lot of my time now preparing, also going through your questions, your emails, your comments. Sometimes I spend more time in front of my computer reading than I do actually here talking to you. So I do spend a lot of my time doing this, even though now and again I do disappear, but I have to have a rest as well sometimes. I do have to have a little rest. Here in the UK, a lot of people now are getting ready to go back to work. We are now talking business as usual. It is a great phrase. It is actually a phrase. When we talk about business as usual, we are saying that everything is going back to how it was, quite often relating to your business. So maybe if you have a shop and your shop has been closed, or maybe you have had some situation that has caused your shop to be closed for a certain period of time, like recently, for example. But then suddenly you open again, you start your business again, you reopen your door, you start working. Maybe you have a company that provides a service. We can say that you have all gone back to work because it is business as usual. So for many people, it is now business as usual, which means that things have gone back to normal. Many things are now normal as they were before. And that is why we have the phrase business as usual. We will often see this outside a shop if there is some roadworks or some construction taking place very close to some business premises. When we say premises, we mean the place where something happens. Maybe the premises of a lawyer or the premises of a school. It is the area in which something happens, something occurs. Quite often we are talking about private property. So maybe a factory or a school or maybe an office, the premises. So something is happening nearby which might cause a disruption or problems. So that's what we say. We say business as usual. We are reopening soon. Soon it will be business as usual as many people start to return to work. Not only here, but also in many parts of the world as well, including Australia. I noticed this morning that many pubs have reopened in Australia. And I'm sure there will be a lot of very thirsty Australians waiting to have their first pint of beer. What is it they drink? What is it? What do you drink in Australia? Is it Foster's? I think it is, isn't it? I remember many years ago, Foster's Lager was advertised on television, and they used to use, who was it? Crocodile Dundee. Paul Hogan used to be the spokesperson. He was the guy who would appear in all of the Foster's adverts many years ago. I know I am aging myself, Mr. Duncan. We can't believe that you used to watch Paul Hogan many years ago. Yes, famous for Crocodile Dundee, but also he is famous for appearing in Foster's Lager adverts in the 1980s. A very long time ago, I know. Oh, hello, live chat. Changing the subject very quickly. Hello, live chat. Mosen. Hello, Mosen. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations to you. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you also, RHS. We also have Grace, Sujin, Vitas is here, Martha Poland. Hello, Martha. Nice to see you back as well. Lots of people already on the live stream. I know what is happening at the moment. I know that many people are now going back to normal, going back to work. So there won't be as many people here as usual. However, because things are slowly going back to normal, including here in England, things are slowly going back to how they were. We might say that pretty soon it will be business as usual. I like that expression. It means things are starting to turn around. Business as usual. Things are going back to how they were, or maybe things are continuing how they were before. I don't know what happened to my camera at the start of today's live stream. Something very strange happened. I'm keeping a close eye on my computer screen just to make sure nothing else goes wrong today. We will see what happens. Flower Espoir is here today. Nice to see you as well. We are talking about lots of things. It is Friday and we have some strange English words. Some unusual English words to show you today. I will show them to you and I will also explain their meanings. So even though they are strange words, it doesn't mean that they're never used, because they are used very often. So you might find sometimes in English, when people are talking, they will use unusual or strange sounding words. Words that don't seem real. So I'm going to take a look at some more of those very strange words later on. You might also notice behind me, can you see? I have one of my bird feeders hanging next to the bush behind me. I'm hoping maybe we might get some birds coming to the bird feeder behind me. I'm hoping so. I am really hoping that some birds will come during today's live stream. So I've put that behind me to just in case. You might call it an experiment. You might call it some sort of experiment. Maybe not. So, Lewis is here. Oh, hello, Lewis Mendez. I wish I had my echo. I really do. Mustafa. How are you doing today? I'm okay, not too bad, thank you very much. Mr. Steve is also feeling a little better. I have a feeling that Steve is now on the road to recovery. However, I don't think what he had was... I don't think it was. I don't think he had that. I'm pretty certain it wasn't that. I'm pretty certain it wasn't that. Well, first of all, I'm not ill. So nothing has happened to me. I feel fine. I feel fine and dandy today. Hello, Elizabeth Bayer. Hello to you watching in Argentina. Nice to see you here. Hello, Belarusia. Nice to see you back on the live stream. We have missed you. I know that you have other things going on at the moment, but it's great to see you here, and I hope your father is doing well. Also, talking of fathers, I was asked a very interesting question the other day. I don't know why. There is a bird behind me. There is a black bird behind me. He's looking. He is looking out of the bush. He might come. Wait there, let's see. Let's see if the blackbird will come behind me. Come on. Don't be shy. Come on, Mr. Blackbird. He's sitting there at the moment watching. I can see him just behind me. He's actually watching me whilst I'm doing my live stream. But unfortunately, he is a little bit shy, just like me. Hello also to... Oh yes, wait there. Let's just rewind. Is my father still alive? The answer to that question is yes, my father is still alive. A very strange question, but I will answer it anyway. Yes, I have my father still with me. He is still alive. And also my mother as well, who is being taken care of. She is in care at the moment. She's not too well. So both my mother and father are still alive. Hello, Han Ha. Hello to you. Nice to see you here as well. Oh, that's a shame. The blackbird is a little shy. I think it is just behind me in this bush. It's just sitting in there. I think it's waiting for me to go away. He will have to wait for quite a while. Also coming up today, by the way, we are going to look at words and other ways of describing cut and sew. S-E-W. Sew. Sew. So you repair something, you will sew something, and then we have the word cut. We have the word cut. So that's what we're looking at as well today. Also, here's something I want to show you. Oh, this morning I decided to give myself a little treat. We had some shopping delivered. We had a little bit of shopping delivered, and guess what? One of the things we had. Something I ate this morning, and I really did enjoy it. Would you like to see what I had for breakfast this morning? I'm sure some people will complain. You will say, Mr. Duncan, you should not be eating that disgusting food. However, this morning I couldn't resist. So here is what I had for my breakfast this morning. Ooh, what is that? I hear you ask. That is a crumpet. Crumpet. We call that particular thing a crumpet. I will show you the word in a moment on the screen. So there is my breakfast. That is what I had this morning. A very popular type of food here in the UK. It is called a crumpet. Some people also refer to it as an English crumpet. So that particular item is called a crumpet. If you want to see the word, well, guess what? Here it is now in my hand. So there is the word crumpet. It is a type of food quite often eaten in the morning. So in the morning you will have this sometimes for breakfast. Crumpet. I love this word. I don't know why. It always makes me smile. And one of the reasons why it makes me smile is sometimes you can use this word in a very, some might say, offensive way. Crumpet. If you are walking down the road and you see a beautiful girl and it happens to be 1978, you may have said, "Ooh, look, there is a nice piece of crumpet." And that means a nice lady or an attractive woman. So the word crumpet, can I just say, I don't think people use that expression anymore. However, many years ago in the late 1970s, crumpet. It is a type of food, but also we used to use it to describe a beautiful lady. A lady who was very desirable or gorgeous or attractive. Crumpet. Ooh, I like it. Well, I like crumpet, as in the breakfast food. I love to have my crumpet in the morning. I can't wait for my morning crumpet. Hello to Karan Kareem. Nice to see you here as well. Dilek. Hello, Dilek. Hello to you as well. Hi, Mr. Duncan and everyone. Elizabeth. I really am an English addict because of you. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say so. I had a few problems with my camera earlier. I don't know what happened. It's never happened before. I don't know what happened. Anyway, it's all right now. Hello, Anna Pika, Irene, also Grace. Hello, Grace. We also have Mika watching in Japan. Nice to see you here as well. Hello also to Noemi, Irene, Pushpendra. Hello, Pushpendra. Nice to see you here as well. Wow, so many people are here. Palmyra, Francesca. Wow, I could spend the next hour just saying hello to everyone on the live chat. How are things going in Europe? How are things going in Europe? There are so many things going on at the moment that concerns Europe and also this country as well. There are many things going on. So we are not just talking about the current situation, we are also talking about things that are going to happen later this year. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Yes, people have started talking about Brexit again. Oh my goodness. Mr. Duncan, you are so handsome today. Thank you, Mustafa. That's very kind of you to say. I don't know why I look so handsome today. Maybe it's because I had a nice sleep. I had a lovely sleep last night. So maybe that's the reason why. Hello also to If Mohammed, Irene, Lolly Lolly. Nice to see you as well. Come on, Blackbird. Don't be so shy. I won't hurt you. I won't harm you. I just want to see you have some food for your babies. Hello also to Fatima. Hello to you. Hello to everyone. We are now up to date on the live chat. Valeria. Hello, Valeria. Is your crumpet salty or sweet? You might say that it is savoury, so it is slightly salty. And of course, after you put butter on the crumpet, once butter has been added, so there you can see there is butter on top. And yes, I know you are going to say, Mr. Duncan, that is too much butter. You have too much butter on your crumpet. How dare you? What? No. Yes? Do we have Greta? Yes, Greta. Greta has something to say.
How dare you?
Thank you, Greta. That's very kind of you. How dare you? How dare you criticise my butter? Oh, there is the blackbird. The blackbird is here. The blackbird is right behind me. Mr. Blackbird, there he is. Can you see the blackbird? Oh, he's gone. He's gone again. He's a little bit shy, unfortunately. A very shy blackbird. Hello also to Sujin. We call, if we have a nice sleep, we call it honey sleep. Honey sleep. I like that. So we might say sweet. We had a sweet sleep. Or maybe we had sweet dreams. So both of those things relate to things that are pleasant or nice. Hello to Emmanuel. I thought it was cheese on top, not butter. Unfortunately, well, I suppose both of those things are unhealthy. However, you are right. You can put cheese on top of crumpets. And can I just say, cheese, especially melted cheese. So if you put some cheese on top of this crumpet and then melt the cheese, it is absolutely delicious. It is gorgeous. Crumpet. So I had a crumpet this morning for my breakfast. Mr. Duncan, can you please explain or give some examples about attitude? Thank you. When we talk about attitude, we are often talking about your manner or the way you view things around you. It can be anything really. So attitude is a very general term for the way you interact or the way you view the world around you. Your attitude. Maybe your personal opinions or feelings can affect your attitude. You see? So attitude is something that you feel inside. However, it is often revealed in the way you behave. So the way you behave towards other people. I think there is about to be a very loud noise behind me. Nice. So your attitude is related to your manner or the way you feel towards other things or people. So you might have a good attitude, you might be a kind person, you might have a good attitude towards other people. Your attitude can be your manner, the way you view other people, the way you treat other people. So you can have a good attitude, that means you have a positive view of life. You are friendly, you respect other people. Maybe you enjoy your job, so you have a good positive attitude to your job. However, you can have the opposite, of course. It is possible to have the opposite, which is a bad attitude. So your bad attitude might be perhaps being lazy in your job, or maybe in life. Maybe the way you view other people around you. Maybe you treat other people badly. You have a bad attitude. Your character might be unfair, or maybe you treat people badly. You have a bad attitude towards other people. So your attitude can be good or bad. Your attitude is the way you view everything around you. I like to think that I have a good attitude, generally. Even though sometimes it is difficult. It is difficult to stay happy. It is difficult sometimes to stay positive. However, generally, I like to think that I have a good attitude. Generally good. Anapika, why does the crumpet have all of those holes? The crumpet is a very clever item of food, because all of those holes on the top, they allow the flavour of whatever you put on top to soak in. So as you can see, the butter is melting and it is going in to the crumpet. So the flavour of whatever you put on top goes right in to the crumpet. And they are absolutely delicious when they are heated up. So there you can see the butter is actually melting and it's going into the holes. And all it does is it increases the flavour. It increases the flavour of the crumpet. So you can put anything on a crumpet. You can put jam. So maybe first you will put some butter on top, and then you will put some jam, some nice preserve, or maybe you can put some cheese on top. I do like to do that sometimes. I like to put cheese on top of my crumpet, and then I will heat the crumpet under the grill, and the cheese will slowly start to melt. Very nice indeed. But to be honest with you, you can put anything, really. You could put anything on top of a crumpet. I would imagine it's up to you, to be honest. I really think so. Artsby says, that's why I don't understand a girl who is crumpet in the 1970s. Yes, it is quite an offensive word nowadays. I think if you referred to a beautiful woman or a girl as crumpet, you might get a slap in the face. I think so. So don't be too surprised if the lady gives you a slap, or maybe she kicks you right in the pants. Hello to Barong. Nice to see you here today. Lots of things going on. Oh, Mr. Duncan, I love the bird feeder. I only wish the birds would come to feed. I only wish the birds would come. Are you an early riser, Mr. Duncan? Yes, I was up very early this morning. It takes me a long time to prepare all of this. There is a lot of technology involved in bringing this high quality picture and also the high quality sound to your screen. It takes a lot of preparation. So normally I get up very early in the morning to start preparing this, all of the technical stuff, all of the equipment, and then of course afterwards I have to decide what I'm going to say. Sometimes I have no idea. Sometimes I will write notes. Sometimes I will give you things to look at. And that's what we're doing today. Today we are doing that. We are going to look at words connected to cut and sew. And also we will be looking at some very strange English words as well. Some more strange English words. Your blackbird must have a nest nearby. You are right, Lil. We have 2 blackbird nests very close to the garden. So at the moment we have 2 blackbird nests. So there are 2 pairs of blackbirds coming to our garden to feed. Not only that, but there are also some baby blackbirds that are now coming into the garden. So we have some young blackbirds that have recently left the nest for the first time. Hello, Vanessa. Hello also. It's the biscuit with the butter. It's different. There, if we put cheese. I think there are many versions of the crumpet around the world. If you go to other parts of the world, you might see the crumpet, but it might look different. It might be a different shape. It also might have different things inside as well. Hello. Attitude is the way you behave to other people. Yes, it is. As I said just now, you can have a good attitude, a positive attitude, or negative. So you might have someone complaining about your bad attitude, especially at work. So maybe someone will complain about your attitude at work. Hello to Quran Kareem. I am fasting at the moment. I am fasting right now and I'm really hungry. Please stop talking about food. Well, I thought I would mention crumpets because I had one for breakfast this morning and I wanted to share it with you. I hope you don't mind. Hello also, I Nguyen, watching in Vietnam. Can I say a big hello to everyone in Vietnam? Nice to see you here. All of my lovely Vietnam students. Hello to you as well. Also Pedro Belmont is here today. I don't have my echo, unfortunately. Also we have Juan Vu Lee. Hello. Where are you watching at the moment? Your name is very intriguing, by the way. Oh, by the way, let's have a look now. I want to have a look at some words. I'm going to put them on the screen in front of you right now. Would you like to? We're going to look at words connected to cut and sew. When we talk about the word sew, we quite often talk about repairing something or making something. Quite often an item of clothing. So maybe you will make an item of clothing. You sew all of the parts that are needed to make a piece of clothing. You sew them together. So quite often, well, most items of clothing have some work done to make them, to create them. And quite often they will be sewn together. So we say sew, sew, sewn, sewn. That is the past tense of sew. You are making an item of clothing. You are putting it together by attaching pieces of cloth to each other. You sew them together. Yeah. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, the other thing we might do later, we might have a little dance later. Very popular. I can't believe how popular our little dance has become, but it has. It's become very popular indeed. I am pleasantly surprised by how popular my little dance has become. Flyaway says the British are a little bit morbid. Morbid? Yes, I suppose so. When we talk about words like cut, I suppose we think of things that are maybe violent or unpleasant. However, the word cut can be used in many other ways as well. So let's have a look at the word, shall we? Here it is now. I'm just making sure I spelt it right. Yes, cut, cut. So there it is. You cut something. You cut. You maybe shorten something. So maybe something long you make shorter. You cut. Perhaps Mr. Steve will cut the grass like last night. That's what Steve did last night. He was in the garden and he cut the grass. He cut the grass. By the way, on Sunday, we are going to take a look at Mr. Steve's new grass. Is it still growing? Or have the birds eaten it all? Cut. A very simple word, and yet it is one that can be used in many ways, as we will see later on as we go through our list of words. Another word we can use if we are talking about cut as an action is slice. Slice. So to cut, you slice something. Of course, the word slice can be used as a verb, and also it can describe something as well. A slice of bread. So you are actually naming the item. You are saying what it is. You are giving it that prefix. A slice of bread. You are referring to a piece of bread that has been cut. It is a slice. You might also have a slice of cake. Ooh, slice of cake. Can't be bad. Slice. So this particular word can be used as a verb. You slice something, you cut something, and it can be used also as a noun. Slice. It is a slice of cake. A slice, a piece, portion. Very nice. Here's another one, and I think this is a word. I think this next word is a word I was asked about a couple of weeks ago. Slit. So cut. We can also use the word slit. If you cut something, you slit something. You slit. Again, a very simple word, but it can be used in a very, I suppose, a very aggressive way. If we are talking about a person who is doing harm to themselves or to another person. Slit. A very interesting word. One that is often used negatively. Here's another one. Incise. Incise. Or incise. Incise or incise. That also means cut. You are cutting into something. You incise something. And that is the reason why some of your teeth, the teeth that you use to cut into food, are called incisors. So your teeth, normally the ones at the front, they are very flat and sharp, and they are very useful for biting and cutting into food. You incise, you incise, you cut, quite often with your teeth. And that's why your front teeth, the teeth at the front that are flat, are very sharp at the edges, and they are very useful for cutting into food. Here's another one. Oh, I like this one. Here's another one. Carve. Sorry about that. I was just attacked by a wasp. Did you see that? A wasp just attacked me. Carve. Once again, we are using synonyms of cut. To carve something. Quite often, we use the word carve if we are cutting something that is large. So if you take something very large and you cut it slowly, we say that you carve that thing. You carve a piece of meat. So some people might cut the meat slowly into smaller pieces. You carve the meat. Quite often you have to use a special tool called a carving knife, a very sharp knife that you have to use for cutting, normally into things like meat. Carve. You can also carve wood as well. Some people like to carve wood as a form of art. So a type of art, someone will cut into a piece of wood and they will make a certain shape. Maybe something that looks like maybe a person, maybe a person's face, or maybe something that is abstract and has no form. Very interesting. Carve. Carve. Here's another word now that looks a little bit like something else. Score. Score. Now this word can be used in more than one way. And I'm sure if you are a football fan, if you are a fan of football, you will know that this means to win a goal. You get the ball into the net. You score a goal. However, score can also mean cut. You are using something to make a shape. You score. You make a deep mark. Or maybe you cut into something. You score something. So this word can be used in more than one way. It can mean that your favourite football team scores a goal. Yes, they scored a goal. Yeah. Or you can cut into something. You score something. You cut into it. You make a mark on something. Here are some phrases now that we can use as well. Phrases. You can cut your losses. This is a great expression that means you quit before you lose any more. So maybe you are gambling and you have lost a lot of money. You decide that you have to quit. You have to stop at that point. You have to cut your losses. You are trying to prevent losing any more money. You cut your losses. So in this sense, cut means finish, end. Try to prevent any more damage. You cut your losses. Maybe if you have a business and maybe you are losing money, maybe your business is going badly, you might cut your losses. Cut your losses. If your business is going bad, you might decide to sell your business to someone else, or maybe you go out of business. You decide that you can't afford to lose any more money, so you cut your losses. So you might hear this used a lot in business English, to be honest. That will be used a lot in business English. Kien Tran says, a great score from Cristiano Ronaldo. Did I tell you that I almost met him last year? When I went to Portugal with Mr. Steve, because Mr. Steve's company gave Steve a free holiday, and I went to Portugal last year. In fact, it is almost a year since we went there. And there was a wedding party taking place in the same place I was staying. And you know who was there? Do you know who was actually there at the same place I was staying? Yes, Ronaldo. He was there. Cristiano Ronaldo was actually staying at the same place as me. Wow. Isn't that amazing? They were having a very noisy party because one of the Portuguese football players was having a wedding reception. And they did keep us awake until very early in the morning with their noisy music. You could also take a pay cut. There we go. You can take a pay cut. So again, the word cut in this sense is not used physically. You are not cutting something physically. You are using it as a phrase, a term. You take a pay cut. This means that you take less money home from your job. Maybe they reduce your salary. They make your salary less. You earn less money. You have to take a pay cut. I would imagine a lot of people at the moment are having to do that due to this situation that is taking place. You might have to take a pay cut. Take a pay cut. You have to have a reduction in the amount of money that you earn from your job. You take a pay cut. So that is being used figuratively. It is a figurative use. Figurative. It's not easy to say, by the way. Figurative. We have two ways of expressing words figurative and also literal. If you use a word literally, you are using its exact definition and meaning, normally in a practical sense. So you are actually doing it for real. If you do something, if you do it in another way, figuratively, I got it right that time, figuratively, it means you are not using it in the literal sense. You are using the word, but the action is not the same. Yep. Here's another one. Oh, here's a nice expression. Something that is better than other things. Something that is superior. Something that is much better than other things. You might say that the restaurant that you went to last night is very nice. The food is very good. You might say that it is a cut above the rest. A cut above the rest. It means it is much better than the other things that are available. Something is a cut above the rest. A person might describe themselves as being a cut above the rest. A cut above the rest. Slightly superior. Something that is better than the other things that are being offered. A cut above the rest. Slightly better. Here's another one. Yes, if you take a pay cut, it means the company reduces your salary. Thank you, Mustafa, for joining in. Yes, many people at the moment, thank you, Karan Kareem, many people at the moment have had to take a pay cut during the past 2 months. Yes, a very serious situation. You might use the USA as an example where millions and millions, this is incredible. I don't know about you, but it blows my mind. Millions and millions of people are now signing for unemployment in the United States. Not just a few, but millions each week. I think last week it was around 3 million people last week had to sign for welfare in the United States. And I think the total number now is maybe 15 or 20 million. It's incredible. Not since the Great Depression has this happened. Here is another one. General cutbacks. A company might make lots of changes. Maybe they reduce the amount of money that they spend on the business. Maybe they are making lots of reductions. Maybe they are going to employ fewer people. They make general cutbacks. So in this sense, we are using the word general as overall. Overall. So many things are being changed, and quite often it means a reduction. Things are getting less. There are general cutbacks. Again, another phrase that I'm sure might be all too familiar. All too familiar. Anna Rita. I'm not sure if Anna Rita likes Ronaldo or not. Ronaldo surely thinks he must be a cut above the rest. He probably does. He is a very good football player, to be honest. He is, actually. Oh, Husna. Hello, Husna. Thank you very much for the compliment. Can you see? I am so flattered. You can see my dimples have appeared. I'm really flattered. Thank you very much. Mr. Duncan, you are a cut above the rest. Ooh. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Look, my dimples have appeared. I've gone all giggly. Hello, Artsby. But if people travel here, we'll soon recover our small economy. But English tourism is our key, together with some Germans and so on. Yes, well, tourism I was talking to Steve last night about this. We were chatting about this. And I can't imagine how anyone is going to travel anywhere for a long time. Imagine that. If you are running an airline, or maybe you are running cruises on those big giant cruise ships. Have you seen them? Some of those cruise ships can hold 2,000 people. And at the moment, none of them are sailing. None of them are going anywhere. So I think one of the hardest hit areas will be tourism, travel, and the travel industry. So I'm talking about flying and sailing. I think so. There will be lots of difficulties to come. I don't think for everyone it will be business as usual. I don't think so. It won't be the same for everyone. Hello to Alessandra. How is Mr. Steve doing? You will be pleased to hear that Steve is feeling much better. I have a feeling that it is not. I don't think it is. For two reasons. One, Steve doesn't seem very ill. He feels unwell, but he's not really ill. And the second reason is I'm all right. I haven't felt unwell. I haven't had any fever. I haven't had anything. So I'm okay. I'm fighting fit. I'm as cheerful as a rainbow. Hello, Sunshine. Hello, also Eric. On your Wednesday live stream, I asked you a question, but unfortunately my phone went crazy and it posted one thing after the other. And you thought I am spamming and you didn't answer it. May I ask it again? Eric Jackson. You can ask the question. Of course you can ask. But sometimes, if the questions come up too often, I'm just looking through the messages here. Wow. Is it my imagination, or are there many messages today? I can't actually keep up with the messages. It's incredible. So many messages. Mr. Steve will become... What? I don't understand that one. I don't understand that, Artsby. Mr. Steve will become black, so you won't recognise him. I don't know how that is possible. Hello. I really don't know how to answer that, I'll be honest. Hello, Sergio. Sergio seems to be becoming irritated. I don't know why. Dear me. Can people please stop fighting on the live chat? Can we all just get along? There is enough pain and suffering in the world at the moment without us creating any more. Please. Why can't we all just get along? Oh, hello. The sun has come out. Wow. There is suddenly a ray of sunlight. It's almost as if the clouds have parted and the sun is now shining on me. You know what they say? They say that the sun always shines on the righteous. Ugh. Maybe not. Here is another cut. Actually, it's quite funny because behind me they are cutting the trees. How strange. So I suppose it is very suitable to be talking about words connected to cut, because behind me people are cutting down the trees and making lots of noise as well. You can also cut to the chase. Cut to the chase. I like this. If you cut to the chase, it means you get to the point. Don't keep talking. Just tell me what you want. Just, please, can you cut to the chase? Cut to the chase. Please, hurry up. Get on with it. Stop wasting my time. Can you please cut to the chase? It is a great expression. So when we say cut, it means we want to move forward very quickly. You cut something so you can move forward very quickly. You cut to the chase. You move ahead quickly. You get to the point. Sometimes people say, Mr. Duncan, you talk too much. Can you please cut to the chase? Okay, all right. All right. Here's another one. You might cut off someone. Ooh, that sounds painful. You might cut off someone. If you cut someone off, it means you remove them from your life. You cut off someone. It means you have no more contact with them. Or maybe you don't view them as part of your family. You cut off someone. You disconnect from them. You don't want to know them anymore. You cut off someone. Maybe you are going to leave some money in your will, but then you change your mind, so you cut off the money. You cut off that person. You remove them from your will. Ooh. Mustafa, yes, Mustafa. Cut to the chase means hurry up, get to the point. What is the point, Mr. Duncan? Please hurry up. You can cut out something. Now this, once again, can be used in many ways. To cut out something is to remove or stop doing something. You can cut out something. For example, you might decide to have a diet. You might decide to eat less food. So you will cut out all of the unhealthy food from your diet. The things you eat, you will cut out all of the unhealthy food. For example, you might cut out crumpets with butter, you see. So you might decide to go on a diet, but as part of your diet, you will cut out all of that unhealthy fat. And that includes crumpets and butter. Mr. Duncan, you really should cut out all of that unhealthy food. Cut out. You cut out something. You stop doing it. So there is cut. We have done cut. We still have lots of other things to do, by the way. It is now coming up to 13 minutes past 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. And yes, this is English Addict, live from the birthplace of English, which is England, of course. We are going to take a break for a few moments. We are going to look at one of my full English lessons. There are many lessons on my YouTube channel. Over 500 video lessons on my YouTube channel. And this is an excerpt from one of those lessons. This is taken from Full English number 28. And then we will be back live once more. You know, the world of English is a fun and exciting place to be, especially today because I'm back with another full English lesson, coming to you from the birthplace of Eric Clapton, Kate Winslet, David Beckham, Richard Branson, and of course the English language, which is the thing we all have in common, a passionate love of this lovely thing called English. So without any more dawdling or annoying hold-ups, let's get on with today's full English lesson right now. Can you see what I have in my hand? It's a hook. This might look like a simple object, but it has many uses, both inside and outside the house. It is useful for hanging things, either from a wall or ceiling. The word hook can be used in many ways too. As a noun, it names a piece of metal or plastic that is curved at one end. It is an object used for hanging things from. Hooks come in many different shapes and sizes. You can also use a hook to catch a fish. You put a hook on the end of a fishing line. An object for hanging clothes on is also called a hook. Once more, these come in many different shapes and sizes. A hook can also describe an eye-catching thing. Something that is used to get attention from people is a hook. For example, a sales hook, a short swinging punch, is also a hook. As a verb, the word hook can mean the action of attaching two or more hooks together. You can hook one thing to another. You can hook onto something. He managed to hook his leg onto the branch to prevent himself from falling. A person who has become over-reliant on something is hooked. To hook someone on a thing so as to get them addicted. The person who is addicted is hooked. My brother became hooked on drugs during his teen years. To lure someone towards something, such as an image, a person, or a song, is hook. The thing in question is attractive. It hooks you. You can hook up with someone. To meet a person with a view to starting a relationship is hook up. To connect electrical equipment together with wires is hook up. He came over last night to hook up my hi-fi speakers. To catch something with a hook is to hook something. I hope we will hook ourselves a nice big fish. To bend something into a hook shape is hook. He hooked his thumbs under his belt. The phrase off the hook means to be no longer a suspect or to become blameless and out of trouble. His wife's statement got him off the hook. There is also by hook or by crook, which means to succeed no matter what happens or whatever it takes. I will make this business grow by hook or by crook. To tell a person to go away, you can say, sling your hook. It's now time to take a look at another buzzword. A buzzword is a word or phrase that is used often during a certain period or is generally popular. Today's buzzword is embargo. The word embargo can be used as a noun and as a verb. As a noun, embargo means to block something from being imported from another country. An import ban can be described as an embargo. The weapons embargo begins at midnight. A dispute between two nations might result in an embargo. An official ban on all activity is an embargo. There is an embargo on taking photographs in the courtroom. Historically, an embargo names the state of ships being unable to enter or leave a country's port. We sometimes include an embargo with the word sanction. One country might sanction an embargo on another as punishment. An embargo aimed at a country often involves much needed commodities, the most common being oil and gas. The word sanction can also mean a threat to block or cut off trade. As a verb, the word embargo is the action of placing the block. A nation will ban, bar, limit, prohibit, restrict, stop. It's a fact of life that we all have to work. It is how we earn our bread and butter. It is a means to an end. We must do it to survive. There are many ways of expressing regular work. It is a job. It's an occupation. It is your profession. It is your livelihood. It's what you do for a living. The word profession also helps to name the type of job you do. What is your profession? I'm a sales assistant. We can also ask, what do you do for a living? I work as a sales assistant in a shop. We can ask who a person works for. This often relates to a big company or public sector service. I work at Google. I work for the fire department. You can work full-time or part-time. The average hours worked each week here in the UK is around 40 hours. However, some people work very long hours. Hospital employees might work very long shifts. Some workers might have to be on the job around the clock. The amount of work a person is willing to do varies. A hard-working person might be willing to work long hours, while some people might avoid work at any cost. They are work-shy. A work-shy person might be described as a layabout, slacker, bone idle, lazy. Why don't you go out and get a job? You're just a bone idle, lazy layabout. Negative slang terms for regular work include daily grind, 9 to 5, rat race, daily slog. An interesting job can be rewarding, while a dull or uninteresting job might be described as tedious, laborious, unrewarding. To work hard, you must slog your guts out, keep your nose to the grindstone, sweat, give your all. Having a job is a necessity. It is what brings in your livelihood, the income, your source of revenue, your earnings. It is a fact of life that we all have to work. It is how we earn our bread and butter. It is a means to an end. We must do it to survive. And there it was, an excerpt from one of my many English lessons on YouTube. That was taken from Full English 29, not 28, but 29. Welcome, here we go. English Addict is live again. Do 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 do. Come on. Look, the band, I've paid you for the whole hour. Not really. I pressed the wrong button again. I'm outside, and one of the strange things today, the sun keeps coming out. And it's very shocking when it suddenly happens, because my eyes, for a moment, I can't see anything. I'm literally blinded by the light. Literally. That was a song, wasn't it? That was a song many years ago. Blinded by the light. Who had a hit with that? I can't remember who it was now. Blinded by the light. Oh my goodness, that was a very old song indeed. Hello Lil. Hello also Karan Kareem. Hello to Belarusia, who says we use hooks. We use hooks in dentistry. You are right, I know. Many a time I've been lying in the dentist chair and they've used the hook to get rid of all of that hard tartar. Tartar. So on your teeth, quite often that you will get a build-up of, it looks like calcium. In fact, it might be. But it builds up slowly on your teeth over time. So when you have to go to the dentist, they will try to remove the tartar from your teeth. It builds up over time. And they use one of these horrible big hooks. They put the hook in your mouth and they get rid of all of that horrible tartar between your teeth. So to be honest with you, I don't like that, to be honest, when I go to the dentist. Not that I have to worry at the moment, because you can't go to the dentist at the moment. The dentists are all closed, which I suppose, in a strange way, is good news for me. Hello Fly Away. Hello also to JC Geordie. Hello JC Geordie. There was also Snowblind from a group called Black Sabbath. Oh yes, Black Sabbath. Great group. Heavy metal. Who remembers heavy metal? Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Motorhead, R.I.P. Lemmy. Hello Karan. Hello Karan Kareem. Hello. Is tartar black? No, it isn't. It is white. It is like calcium. And it forms around your teeth, between your teeth and your gums. So, and that's one of the reasons why sometimes you can have problems with your gums. So the tartar will build up on your teeth, and then it will push your gums back. And that's when you can have lots of problems with your teeth. Hello Husna. Hooks are very useful. They are used as hangers. Yes, one of the most useful things to have around is a hook. Hooks are brilliant. A brilliant invention. A very simple thing, however, also very useful. We're going to have a look at some words. We looked at cut earlier. Today, we are also going to look at repairing things. Quite often we think of this word to mean repair. You put something together, quite often clothing. So when you make clothing, when you make clothes, you will often do this action. Oh, it's a long way down there. Oh dear. One of the problems with being very tall is when you bend over, it seems like a very long way down there when you bend. So when you pick something up, it seems like a very long way to travel. Here we go then, and the word we are going to use is bading, sew. Sew. S-E-W. So this quite often is used as a verb. You sew something. You put something together. You stitch something together. Quite often when you make clothing, or perhaps, and this is something my mother used to do. I remember when I was a child, I would always wear out my socks and sometimes my trousers. I would get holes in my trousers, and my mother would sew up the holes. She would sew my trousers, and also she would sew my socks. A lot of people used to do that. Nowadays we just throw them away because we have become so wasteful. But sew, you will sew your clothes. If you want to repair them, you might have to put a button. Can you see there? There is a little button. Sometimes your button will come off and then you have to fix it back on. You will have to sew the button back on. Sew. A very simple word, and yet it is one that is very expressive. as well. An action. To repair something, to put something together. Quite often, clothing. You will stitch, you will sew material together to make clothing, clothes. As I just said, another word we can use, and it's the word I just used a few moments ago. We can also use the word stitch. Stitch. Again, you are using this as both a verb and noun. So stitch is the action of doing it. So you stitch something together. You stitch. You join two things together. You connect them together, normally with something else. You stitch them together. Also, the word stitch can mean the thing that you've done. So the actual thing is stitch. You can see there on my shirt, there are stitches on my shirt. Lots of stitches going along. Stitch. Stitch. So this particular word can be used as both a verb and noun as well. Stitch. Another way of using this word, by the way, have you ever been running? Have you ever run? And you've been running for a while, and then suddenly you get a pain in your stomach. It feels as if the muscles are contracting. Sometimes it's very painful. You can get a pain, and quite often it's because you've strained the muscles, your stomach muscles or your abdominal muscles. You've strained them. And sometimes you will get a stitch, and that's what we call it. So if you've been running for a long time, sometimes you might get a pain in your stomach. And it is actually the muscles. You are working the muscles too much, and they suddenly become very painful. You get a stitch. Oh, I've got to stop running. Oh, I've got a stitch. Oh. It can be quite painful as well, getting a stitch when you are running. Fly Away says, wow, it's difficult, this English. It can be, but of course you have lots of things to keep you occupied, busy, and of course lots of new words as well. Oh, here's an interesting one. Darn. Darn. If you sew something, we can say that you darn as well. Darn. So this word is quite old-fashioned. You don't often hear people use this word. However, it is still used in the profession. If you are a professional person, maybe you make wedding dresses. Maybe you put wedding dresses together. I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Because it's been dry today, there is a lot of pollen in the air. So my hay fever today started being very annoying. Very annoying indeed. Darn. It is another word for stitch or sew. Quite often used in the profession. So maybe a professional person who makes clothes. Perhaps they make wedding dresses. They will go to their shop or their studio and they will make a dress for the bride. Isn't that nice? Very nice. Maybe one day I will get married and I will wear white. Sew up. You sew up something. Again, we are talking about an action. You sew up. You join two things together by sewing them together. That was my neighbour's cock. Sew up. You sew up something. You repair something with stitches. It's all sewn up. This is a great expression, so we are using the word sew in an expression. It is all sewn up. It means it has been completed. It is finished. It's all sewn up. It's finished. It has been completed. All of the business has been done. Sorry about that. Beautiful, beautiful water. Delicious water. Very nice. Where was I? It's all sewn up. It's finished. It's completed. I have finished doing my business. I don't have to do any more because it's all sewn up. It is finished. It's been completed. We can also, if you finish a deal, quite often in business English, you will say you sew up a deal. You sew up a deal. You sew up. You finish the deal. You bring all of the things together and then you complete the deal. You sew up a deal. Again, we use this in business English. You sew up a deal. You complete the deal. It is a very active day around here. A lot of people are really getting back to work. It would appear that it is now business as usual for many people. Here's another one. To stitch someone up, or to stitch up someone. Maybe you create a situation where a person is guilty or appears to be guilty of doing something, but they weren't. They weren't actually responsible. You stitch someone up. It means you frame a person. You make it appear as if they've done something wrong when they haven't. You stitch up someone. Or maybe you set someone up to be caught doing something wrong. So if a person is doing something wrong and you have arranged for the police to catch them, we can say that you stitch up someone. To stitch up someone. A wonderful expression. I can't believe it. He's stitched me up. He's stitched me up. It's a stitch up. It's all been arranged. It's a stitch up is what they say. So the person who has been caught, maybe someone told the police that person was going to do something bad. You can say, it's a stitch up. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's a stitch up. It's a stitch up. You might hear that said quite often in TV shows or movies. You stitch something together. This is an action. You stitch something together. You put two things together and then you attach them to each other by adding stitches. You stitch two things together. You stitch them together. So you stitch things, you stitch one thing to another. Stitch. Very different to stick. So some people get confused between the word stick and stitch. Stick means you put the surfaces together. So stick is when you take two surfaces and you put them together. Stick. Stitch is when you join two things together and you stitch them to each other. Stitch. Stick. Stitch. Stick. Finally, here's an interesting phrase to do with sewing. Can you believe that sewing has become very popular here in the UK? We even have our own television show. There is a television programme where lots of people try to sew. They sew lots of lovely clothes, they put clothing together, and they call it the Great British Sewing Bee. And there it is, sewing bee. Isn't it a strange phrase? Sewing bee. So in this sense, the word bee means group. A group of people who get together to practice or do something that they enjoy, maybe a hobby or a pastime. We call it a sewing bee. Sewing. Can you believe that sewing has become a very popular pastime here in the UK? I know a lot of people may find it boring, but sewing. Some people like to repair their clothing when it becomes old and worn. They repair the clothing to make it as good as new. I think so. I like that. I like it a lot. Ooh. Sorry about that. It seems to be getting quiet now. It seems to be a little quieter than it was earlier. The only thing I'm going to say is that we haven't had any birds come to my bird feeder. So I put my bird feeder right there behind me, and we haven't had any birds come, unfortunately. Cho says sewing bees are very popular in Europe. Yes, it's interesting how they call it the bee. Sewing bee. So people will get together and they will share their enjoyment of a certain hobby. Quite often it is something that you do with your hands, something creative. Sewing bee. A sewing bee. Very interesting. What is the difference between a sewer and tailor? A tailor is a person who makes clothing normally individually. So quite often you will go to the tailor, and the tailor will make an item of clothing for you, normally for men. So a tailor will design and make clothes for men. Tailor. A person who is a sewer or a seamstress is a woman, or maybe a person who makes clothing for women. So you might say dressmaker. A dressmaker is a person who makes dresses for women, usually. And a tailor is a person who makes clothing for men. I hope that answers your question. Valeria, hello to you. Francesca says, my daughter has broken her finger. I know how painful that can be. It doesn't sound very nice. How did it happen? How did the accident happen? How did your daughter break her finger? Doesn't sound very nice to me. Sounds very painful. I have never broken anything in my body. I haven't broken anything. In my whole life, I haven't broken any bones. Not yet. Not yet, anyway. Husna, Mr. Duncan, I have a silly question. A silly question. do you keep the papers you print in a portfolio, or do you just throw them away? I hope you keep them, because you put a lot of effort in to doing them. Yes, I do. I preserve everything that I create. So all of the things that I create are preserved. So you have the paper, the printed paper, and also I keep everything also in my computer as well. So if I lose my paper, maybe it becomes damaged, I can always print off something else. I can print it again. But yes, you are... that's a very good question, actually. It's a very good question. Yes, I do keep everything I create. Most of it is sorted, and then I put it away, and maybe one day I will use it again. Who knows? Sometimes it is nice to look back and see the things that I've talked about in my previous lessons. So to answer your question, yes, I do. I do. Anna Pika says, fortunately, I have never broken any bones. I think that is a good thing, yes. If you can get through your life without breaking any bones. Unfortunately, Mr. Steve is not so lucky, unfortunately. Mr. Steve is not so fortunate. Mr. Steve broke his ankle in a car crash many years ago. Valentina, hi Mr. Duncan, can you help me? Is it correct to say I would have preferred you to be rich, but I'm happy with it? I would have preferred you to be rich, but I'm happy with the way you are. Yes, you might say happy with it, but that's normally in response or added on to another sentence. So that sentence that you've given me is out of context. But normally, in a conversation, you might be discussing that situation. So you are saying that you are happy with it. And when you say it, you mean the situation that you are both in. However, what I also might say is, I would have preferred you to be rich, but I'm happy with the way things are. I'm happy with the way things are. It means it doesn't matter. I'm happy with the things as they are. It doesn't matter. I would have preferred you to have been rich, but I'm happy with you just the way you are. Sometimes money can be useful, but it isn't everything. It isn't everything. HY Kevin. Hello, HY Kevin. Kim, I just got home right now after work, watching your broadcast with beautiful flowers that remind me of mine, that have been given to me. He is growing a lot of flowers in his garden. That is very nice. I love flowers. There are some people who live in Much Wenlock, and they have beautiful gardens. Sometimes I go by, or I go past their garden, and I always like to have a little look in their garden. Sometimes I'm very nosy. So I like to look at their flowers and their bushes and all of their lovely colourful flowers that they have planted in their garden. It does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of time and effort to keep the garden. Hello. Oh, Andy Starr says, my wife is the best seamstress. Seamstress. A lady who will repair clothing or make clothing. Quite often fashion. In fashion, we often describe someone as a seamstress. They produce, they create clothes, normally for women. Ladies, women's clothes for ladies. Ladies. Hello to Anna. I wasn't a reckless girl when I was little, but at the opposite, I was I was the opposite. I was very cautious. So yes, you can have those two words as opposites. Reckless, you do something without care. Cautious, you do something very carefully. They are actually opposites. Artsby is going. See you, Artsby. See you later. We have some strange words coming up in a moment. Are you ready to see some strange words? I hope so. So that's what we're doing in a few moments' time. However, right now, if I can find my mouse, I don't know why, sometimes my mouse vanishes. My little mouse on my screen. We will take a little break and then we are back with some unusual words, some strange words that are common but seem very weird. Oh, wonderful. The wonderful sight. It's a shame you can't smell the aroma from all of the garlic that is growing around here at the moment. It is incredible. It really is amazing. I think this year we've had the best show of garlic around here. It is everywhere, and there are thousands and thousands of small white flowers all around the area in which I live. It looks rather nice. I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of editing there that I did a couple of weeks ago during one of my walks, and I thought I would show it again because it is also something I enjoy watching as well as you, I hope. Here we go then. As we come towards the end, we will be finishing. We have some unusual words, and then I suppose at the end of today's live stream we will have a little dance. Would you like a dance? Are you going to join in with my dance? That is the big question. Don't forget also, if you like what you see, if you are enjoying today's live stream, well, you can like and subscribe. Please give me a big thumb, like, and also subscribe as well. You are more than welcome to do so. Very nice indeed. Thanks a lot for your company. We are going to wrap up with some unusual English words. Are you ready? Mr. Duncan, you are going to delight us with a little dance. I will be dancing at the end of today's live stream. And then afterwards I will be going into a very dark room to have a lie down on the bed. Here we go. Oh, some unusual words for a Friday afternoon. Here's a nice one. Tootle. If you tootle, it means you move around. You move about slowly, carefully, to wander from place to place. You tootle. I love this word. You might go for a tootle around town. You might go for a tootle in your car. Tootle. It means to move around, to go around. Maybe you go from one place to another. You move around slowly, without care. You do something for pleasure. Maybe you move around or walk around or drive around, and you have a little bit of fun at the same time. You tootle. Tootle. I love this word. It's one of my favourite words. Tootle. I'm just going off for a tootle around the field. Tootle. You have a little tootle. Tootle, tootle, I like to go for a tootle. You might like to tootle in your car. Move around, move about. You tootle. 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 It's very similar to toot, I suppose. If you make the sound of your car, beep, beep, that is toot. You toot your horn. Here's another one. Oh, Mr. Duncan, this is a very strange word. I don't know what this word is, Mr. Duncan. Please tell us. Can you please tell us what this word is? Okay, I will. You asked me so nicely, I will tell you. This word is pronounced spiel. Spiel. Ah. A person who does something in a certain way, maybe something that is rehearsed or done as a type of performance, maybe. Things that are said as a routine, or maybe as a small performance. Something that a person does quite often in their job. Maybe a person will be, I don't know, selling. Maybe a person is a salesman or a saleswoman, and they have a certain way of doing something. They will say things in a certain way to perform their job. We call it spiel. Spiel. It sounds German, and that's because it is. It is a German word, but we also use it in English. Spiel. You are saying things, doing things in a certain way. Quite often we will use it maybe negatively. If a person is trying to sell something to us, we might say, "Oh, please, I don't need your spiel. I don't need your spiel." I keep doing that today. Excuse me. I don't know why. I keep banging my hand on something here, and it's very annoying. Excuse me a moment. Very annoying. So there it is. if I can get it the right way up, spiel. A person who talks in a certain way, does things in a certain way, normally in their job, if they are memorizing a certain way of selling something, you go through a performance. It is a little bit like performing your spiel, the things that you have to say. Spiel. A salesman will say things to get you to buy the product. He will use spiel. He will use certain words, certain phrases, certain ways of trying to persuade you to buy the product. He will use spiel. It's a great word. You can also pronounce it spiel as well. Some people will pronounce it spiel. Some people will pronounce it in the form that it's supposed to be pronounced, spiel, which is German. You are using words in a certain way. Lil, yes, you are right. It is a German word. Oh, here's another one. This is a word that is used a lot in English. So this is a word that is a real word. I'm not making these words up, even though some people think I am. You pronounce this garnishy. Garnishy. This is quite often used in legal terms, in law. Quite often if you owe money to a company or a group of people, someone else is allowed to come and take that money that you earn. So for example, maybe your salary, someone will take some of your salary away to pay the bills, or maybe you have a debt, maybe you owe money to someone, and unfortunately you haven't paid any money for a long time. Then another person might come along and they will take some of your salary to pay the bill. We call it garnishy. Garnishy. So this is used in law to mean a third party who is allowed to come along and take money so as to pay off debt. Maybe you have borrowed some money from the bank, or maybe you have a mortgage. You've borrowed some money from the bank to buy a house. However, you have not been paying the money back. So the company that you owe the money to will take you to court, and they will garnish your salary. They will force someone to take the money from your salary. So quite often, if you use this word, quite often it is when you have got to the point where you owe someone a lot of money. If you owe money to someone, if you have to give someone money that you've borrowed, in law, they can make you give the money back. They will take it from you. They will garnish your salary. They will take the money from you. It does happen a lot, including here in the UK as well. So you can have your salary or some of your salary taken away by force if you don't pay the bills, especially if you owe money to someone else. Maybe a credit card. Maybe you owe money on a credit card. Here's another one. Swathe. Ah, swathe. You are enjoying something. Swathe. Embrace. Fold your arms. Swathe. You are carried away by the moment. Swathe. Swathe. Isn't that lovely? Swathe. I like that word. I think I might swathe after this lesson has finished. Swathe. Ah, I might drift away into my own little world. Come to think of it, I exist in my own little world anyway. I don't need to go there. I'm already there. Yeah. Oh, here we have another one. Another legal word. So this is another word that is used in law. You may have heard this word being used in, I don't know, maybe some sort of TV show about the police and the law. Here it is. Oh, yes, Mr. Duncan, that is a very interesting word. This is pronounced subpoena. Subpoena. What, I hear you ask, is a subpoena? When we say subpoena, we mean an order from maybe the police or maybe from another lawyer to appear in court. So you can be forced to appear in court, maybe as a witness or maybe as the defense for a person who is in trouble with the police. They will give you a subpoena. Subpoena. Wow, I like this word. It's a very unusual looking word. It doesn't look real, however, it is. Subpoena. You can give someone a subpoena. You can also use it as a verb. You can also subpoena someone, which means that you are forcing them. You are telling them that they must come to court. They have to appear, maybe as a witness, or maybe they have to give some evidence. And they have to do it. They can't say no. It's incredible, but it does happen. Subpoena. To force a person to appear in court, or quite often to give evidence as well. You can subpoena evidence. That means you force someone to give the evidence. They have no choice. It is the law. Good one. Well, yes, interesting, that one. Hello to Malia. Very useful words, Mr. Duncan. Thank you. Sergio is here. Very interesting conversations taking place today on the live chat. Thank you very much. Yes, subpoena, the person who can force you to be in court. You have no choice. So if they subpoena you, you have to go to court. So maybe you've done nothing wrong, but maybe you have some evidence that they need, and you are the only person that can give that evidence. They will tell you that you must go to court. I think maybe one day we will do a lesson all about words and phrases connected to law. Would that be good? Would you like that? Yes, I think so. Here's our final word. So this is our final weird, unusual word for today. Oh, Mr. Duncan, what does that mean? Charabanc. A charabanc. Quite often, a group of people who will go away somewhere, they will go away on a charabanc. However, in its original form, this meant an old type of cart that would carry many people at the same time, a charabanc. And that's how you pronounce it. So it isn't charabanc. We actually pronounce this word charabanc. A large group of people go away on an outing. They go to a place and they visit a certain area or a location, and they go together. They take a charabanc. However, in its original form, it meant an old form of transport that many people could use at the same time. Isn't that an interesting word? Charabanc. It is real, and we still use it. However, quite often we use it in a different form from its original use. That is it. We've almost come to the end of today's live stream. My goodness. Wow, look at that. It is 10 minutes past 4 o'clock. So you have had a little bit extra. You've had a little bit more of me today than normal. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you very much for your company today. And of course, I hope you will come and click on me this Sunday. I will be back with you on Sunday. There you can see now on the screen. Sunday, Wednesday and Friday is when you can see me on YouTube live. Every week I am with you 3 times a week. So I will be back on Sunday. And of course, on Sunday, Mr. Steve will be here. Yes. I'm hoping that he will be strong enough and fit enough to join us on Sunday. And apparently the weather here in the UK is becoming quite nice over the next few days. It is going to get very warm. So we might be in the garden on Sunday once more. I will be back with you a little bit later on Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of today. Have a great Friday. Have a super Saturday. And we will have some fun on Sunday when I return. But right now, you know what's coming. We are going to have a little dance. I want you to join in as well. We are all going to stretch those limbs. We are going to reach for the sky. We are going to stretch our arms as far as we can. Because it is time once again to have some jazz in Paris. This is a piece of music that you can all move along to. Are you ready? Are you ready, Lil? Are you ready, Mosen? Are you ready, Diana? It is time to move that body. That's it. It is time to go. Time to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream for over 2 hours today. 2 hours I was with you. Thank you very much for your company. See you later. Subpoena. It is a very strange word, and I've never heard it before. Well, maybe tomorrow, perhaps, you've never been told that you must go to court. So that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. Thank you for your company. See you on Sunday once again. I will tell you, I will be with you from 2 p.m. UK time on Sunday. And that's it. That is all I have time for. It is time to say goodbye to you all. I will be back on Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. Thanks for your company. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Ong. Thank you, Shaker. Thank you also, Martha. Thank you, Karan Kareem. Ong again. Thank you so much for your company today. I've really enjoyed myself. And look, the sun has finally come out. It's come out to say hello, just as I say goodbye. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Mosen. Thank you also to Hailey Kwang. See you later. Thank you, Unikarina, as well. And can I say once again, a very big thank you to Nicoletta and Veronica. Thank you very much for your lovely donations on PayPal. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for your lovely support there. Thanks a lot. And that's it. I'm definitely going. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English. Of course, that is England. That is where I am on a lovely sunny day, saying thanks for watching. See you on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube. Stay safe, stay happy, stay well, and keep smiling. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.